Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left-hand corner, we got Styker starting as the blue Zerg. Bottom left-hand corner, we got Kudos starting as the red Zerg. This is going to be on Dominator. And Kudos currently up a game in this best of 3. Which means one more game, Kudos advances across the winner bracket, and Styker potentially is dropped to the loser bracket. Although Styker's still a danger down there, because I think from this stage, I'll have to double check this, but I believe it starts becoming best of 3 pretty quickly in the lower bracket as well, as players weed it out. This is Dominator, and the pizza slices, as everybody, they almost look like spearheads, honestly, but pizza slices are the affectionate term here in the Foreigner community. Foreigner, by the way, explaining that if you're inside Korea, StarCraft being the Korean national game, you are a pro player, you're an amateur player, whatever. If you're outside of Korea, you're considered a foreigner. It's just the way it is. I guess we could look at that way with football, but anyway. I'm also having demands for Tark Ban game to back this. Looks like we are seeing a 9 pool for Kudos, which I like seeing. Really what I wanted to get into discussion-wise was are we seeing a later 9 pool with some gas here from Styker? Was that, yeah, overpool. Theoretically, this gives an economic lead to Styker, but having the Zerglings out on the map a little bit more rapidly might lead to a victory for Kudos, because, again, the pizza slices and the vision and the havoc they cause leads to Zerglings being able to scramble and make some things happen, and also some disguised tech in the form of, I guess, the lowest disguised tech you can have in the form of Zerglings. But point being, Zerglings end up being more effective. Right here, though, Styker is going to end up a drone, a single drone, but that can mean a lot, especially if you're just talking about Zergling versus Zergling warfare over the long haul. So 6 Zerglings are going to be fielded more rapidly here from Kudos, but the later pool means a stronger early game economy here from Styker. Is Styker also going to... The other question is he might just field 4 Zerglings. Yeah, he's going to go... Never mind, 6 Zerglings into layer and delaying speed. Kudos is investing in speed here to start, and we'll see if that makes up the difference. The Overlord, however, for Styker is in perfect position to see the Zerglings as they're making their way out the base. That gives Styker heads up information that this is in fact a 9 pool. It's an inverted ramp, so it's a tough defense is now the next trick. So he needs to defend this a little bit higher. And with a little bit, that's another aspect I should mention why Zerglings are strong on this map. And you're seeing the additional Zerglings pouring out. Styker trying to abuse the invisible lanes like I was talking about earlier. Moves down a touch, which reveals the numbers. Kudos waiting for Zergling speed to kick in. Styker does need to retreat. He already recognizes it because Zergling speed about to complete. And Styker hasn't created, he doesn't have the Zergling wall constructed as of yet. So Kudos might be able to find a gap here in the midst of this. The layer is now finished for Styker, but he's got Zerglings in his face. Kudos engaging at a negative value wall right there, so took some additional damage. Still trying to press it. Their Zergling speed's finished. Styker trying to retreat and construct a conclave, trying to shuffle out some weakened Zerglings potentially. Yeah, gets that weakened Zergling out of the corner. Doesn't have an airtight wall here though, but does have the Spire on the way. And this is at close quarters with Zerglings, and we have a much later layer, as you can see from Kudos, and that is going to be a significant time difference. And particularly if these Zerglings are not able to breathe. What was that cancel? I missed what that cancel was. Was that a second Spire that just got canceled? Styker in the okay, so he dropped, never mind, that was calculated to sneak an extra drone out underneath Overlord pressure. For a second there I was like, oh, did he drop another building and have something lost in the midst of this? Zerglings continuing to fan out there, by the way. The Spire, let's try to get the difference in timing of Spires. So there versus there, so several seconds. That's either a bunch of dead Zerglings on the front here for Kudos, or potentially a dead Overlord at close position as 2 are fleeing, which can be a massive difference, but certainly it's going to be a larger air fleet for Styker over the long haul. Now a solid wall of Zerglings out in front. This is still a lot of Zerglings here on the corner. If Kudos was going to dive, now is the moment to do it. It looks like he's no longer has the timing opportunity to do so. Initial Mutalisks are being produced, and Spire, yeah, still ticking away. It looks like an initial Zergling did die along those lines, and Kudos retreating, recognizing that just the perfect timing on it too. He really knows it. Oh, I was about to say, did he go for a full retreat though? Zerglings exchanging lives right this second. Styker's happy to keep these Zerglings at close proximity, But now moving out onto the map, we have Mutalisks already out in the field. Do we have more Mutalisks out here for Kudos potentially? In the span, I don't think so. In the span of that build order, the Mutalisks are trying to find Overlords. Gonna find an Overlord right there. There's another Overlord there at the 9 o'clock location. The Zergling's also streaming forward, wanting to potentially force some additional Zerglings. Kudos actually just going straight Mutalisks. So 3 making the way out. They're not going to be in time to save that Overlord. That puts him into the red. Kudos up a drone in the midst of this somehow. Another Overlord's been spotted here at the 9 o'clock location. But 3 Mutalisks are headed across to potentially defend it. This is maybe a closer reinforcement point for Styker. And Kudos yet doesn't want to engage in that fight. That's yet another Overlord that is going to be dropped, continuing to keep him in the red, which means that Mutalisk count is going to continue to grow in Styker's favor. Also opens up the option to grab his natural expansion potentially. Another Overlord spotted here. And it looks like Styker found yet, man, every single Overlord getting assassinated out of the map. But we have these Mutalisks of Kudos now that Styker's at the far end position, potentially going for a counterattack at the main. Styker has maybe gone a bit too deep. Yeah, making his way back. Some drones going to lose their lives, certainly. Yeah, Styker now losing a lot, but if he can, and wow, nice micro from Kudos, continuing to march across, get the drone strikes. And that is huge because larvae mean absolutely everything. Now Styker needs to haul his butt back across the map, but we already have an evolution chamber down and spores on the way. Are they going to complete in time? Zerglings fanning their way across to maybe go for a counter attack eventually. Styker holding that position. I think the spore colonies are going to finish in time. Brilliant play there from Kudos as far as a turnaround mechanic. Holy cow. And that's going to be Sunken and a Spore in the main. This doesn't cover everything, but if Kudos is careful about it, we're actually even at 7 drones apiece, by the way. Oh, those drones are not protected on the corners and getting sniped, so... But Mutalisk diving a little bit too far. It looks like Styker happy to take a touch of damage to pick off whatever drones are left. 2 drones left. That should be GG. Styker's managed to sneak 2 more Mutalisks towards the main. They're going to try to clear up the Zerglings to allow a counter Zergling attack. Mutalisk versus Mutalisk now. And this might turn around, actually, as Styker having to defend his drone lines once again, and he's got drones falling on his side of the map. Mutalisk fighting Mutalisk, and they have superior numbers, but Kudos recognizing he's not going to win. There's going to be another Mutalisk to pop or Scourge to pop shortly. The Zerglings were cleaned up, so GG, we're now tied 1 apiece. But an exciting one both directions. ZVZ's really fun. Moving on to game 3 for all the marbles. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.